Hey tubes, how's it going? Well, made some progress. Always nice to report that. I took some measurements and made some calculations and went and spent some money and got my heater hoses in. We're looking at the 5/8 hoses, run back into the heater core there, and those are all tight. Got the thermostat bolted down. Had bought a hose that pretty much went the direction I wanted it to. I had to shorten it, but that one worked. Unfortunately, the hose I got for the bottom down, get some light down in there. The lower radiator hose, which comes off of there and goes down to there, and actually ends up down in the spot down in there someplace. The one I got just wasn't long enough in one of the directions. Picked up the fuel line that I needed, and I got my fuel line mounted down to the frame up to this point right here, and that's hooked up to the fuel pump and clamped down, and the fuel pump has a steel line that comes up through here to this point and through a fuel filter and into the carb. So that's done. Power steering pump is all got brand new hoses here. Bought a kit. Here's my new. Jeez. Oh, it's glare from down below. I got my light down here still. There we go. Okay. Now we can show you. There's the new hoses screwed into the Mustang 2 power rack, and they come around and they go onto the back of the power steering pump back here, and I just have enough clearance for everything there. Got my belt nice and snug, and I took a sewing tape measure, the cloth type, and put it around the pulleys and got an approximation, and I think I did pretty darn good, especially with that power steering one. That didn't have as much range of motion as I did on the alternator, but I got that alternator in there and tucked in, and that's going good. And excuse me. So basically, now it's a matter of sitting down and trying to get this wiring hammered out, straightened out here. It's not going to be that difficult. Still need to get a speedometer cable and do some other stuff, and of course throttle linkage coming out of this gas pedal there. That'll come out right about there and come over somehow. Somehow I got to rig up something to do the gas, get the throttle here. And so yeah, it's kind of a milestone having all this front accessory drives and getting my first radiator hose in. Once I get that bottom hose in, oh, forgot to one other thing that I did. My transmission cooling lines are in progress here. I got the steel lines up to this point. I'm going to probably make a few more bends in them, but I had to rig up adapters for the hose to the line, and that was kind of a catch as catch can situation there. It's, you know, one store has one fitting and you need two type of thing. And but I think what I'm going to do here is, since these lines are solidly mounted to the transmission and come up here, I'm going to bring a bracket down and fasten them solidly right here, and then run them over to the rubber hoses, and that way the motor can do its thing, and the radiator is stationary to the chassis, and so there won't be any steel flexing in that case. So that's kind of where we're at. I still have my gas line to finish up in the back. I still have the rear end to put in. Some other things to do there. So all in all, it's coming along. So Alfie decided that Pebbles, he was missing out on all the good times that Pebbles was getting. So he decided to come in and see what Dad was doing. Didn't ya? Huh? Yes. You're just a lover kitty. Well, I'm definitely making progress on the wiring. I got my alternator. I figured out which wire on the alternator takes care of the red light on the dashboard, so I got that wired in. Got the choke wired in, got my temperature sending unit put in there, got my oil pressure down under the distributor there, wired in, distributors wired, tacks wired, and then those are down to my I have a junction block here. That's where my hot lead comes from the battery, and the alternator comes back into that, and then I've got a couple other feeds off of that. So yeah, we're definitely making progress. I'm going to try and incorporate some more conduit. I got a little bit of this gray stuff here, and a little bit of the black down in there, and got some more to put in. But yeah, that's going good. This mess down here is all for my horn relay, my headlight high-low beam relay, and then I'm going to have this heavy red, this 10 gauge here, it's going to go to a load center. This is a ground, and back to the chassis, and some of this is coming out and some of this is staying, but then I'll be able to start getting things like my fan wired up, my fog lights, which I never did have wired up. Those will come out of there. A few other, I'll actually have 4 fused circuits that'll be up on this fender right here with relays and stuff. So that's where we're at here. Yeah, I stuck a battery charger down where the battery sits and got that to power up the system, so I could track down which wire is which, and that worked out well. So yeah, it's going good. I did have one questionable moment. I had a safety switch on the clutch pedal, so the clutch had to be depressed when in order for the starter solenoid wire to go, and I forgot about that, and I couldn't figure out why I didn't have a circuit out here that would energize the starter when the key was turned to start, and it took about 5 minutes noodling on that to figure that one out. But yeah, we'll get this straightened out run, get the conduits in, get the stuff fastened down so it's nice and secure and not going to go anywhere. But going to kind of leave it at this for now. I've got a couple other commitments and I won't be able to work on the car for a little while. So take care, like, subscribe, and we will talk to you soon. Well, gang, I got the engine control monitoring wiring done. So everything's tucked in, conduits and tied back, distributor, oil pressure, water temperature, electric choke, alternator. I did hook up my alternator light, found the circuit for that and got that in there. So what's left now is get the load center for the electric fan, the fog lights, the horn. I've got relays for all those. Those need to be put in. And the starting circuit, that blue wire coming down right there, needs to be wired into the solenoid. But I've got a heat shielding tube that comes down the back of the head that I'm painted up. Yes, I like you too. And so I'm waiting for that to dry, and then I'm going to reroute the start cable from the starter to my on-off switch and that solenoid circuit back in to that and down. And I ordered up my headers today, so we'll get those and see how those fit in here. Should be interesting. Decided there wasn't any reason I couldn't put the gas tank back in, so that's all set. Got it in and hooked up, except for the gas line. I still need to get that in. I think I'm going to pull out this mess here, all this electric fuel pump stuff right here. It's all got to come out, and we'll just hook this line right here up to that line right up there, and just take a piece of rubber hose and then secure a few things up in there, and should be good to go. So it didn't need the tank vent because it's a vented cap on this. Okay, I got the starter cable and the solenoid all in place there. Got running through that little tube, and so everything's all set on that end. So basically I'm done with the wiring, and now I'm trying to figure out what to do with my throttle cable. I've got the Mustang 2 Ford product coming out here, and that's what's bolted up, but the travel of this is not as much as the travel on this. So this travel right here is greater than this travel right here. So I think what I need to do is make a leverage of some kind here that I can pull or push, actually pull back on it and push that forward and come up with something there. See what I can do. So, and there, of course, Pebbles has to approve. You have to supervise, don't you? Yeah, you do. So, let's see what we can do with that. Well, I got a disconcerting situation here. I don't think my Mustang 2 pedal, gas pedal, and throttle cable is going to work. I'm going to have to come up with something totally different. This is just not, doesn't have enough travel here. It comes to about here with full throttle depressed, and it's not even getting down to opening up the secondaries. So I've got a situation there. Oh, pebbles, come on. This whole arrangement's just shaky. Don't care for it. It's I got the pedal in there, but for what it's worth, that whole pedal situation is going to have to be addressed. I want to put an automatic transmission pedal on it now that I've got the automatic transmission. And yes, I love you too. But yeah, I just do not have the travel I need there. I got to have a longer stroke, and I think what I'm going to try and do is figure out some sort of mechanical out to and over and up that I can change the leverages on and maybe get a little better working arrangement there. The motor is rubber mounted, so I won't be able to solidly mount from, for instance, here over to there. I'd have to accommodate the flexing and the vibration. But that's something I'm going to have to noodle on, because just don't like what I got. Well, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and we'll see what we can do here and get back to you and let you know. Take care.